Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Raid Shadow Legends video, I'm going to show you all the sources of Sacred Shard in Raid Shadow Legends, and I'm also going to categorize them for early game players, mid game players, and late game players, just so you know what are the sources of Sacred Shards that are available to you right now. First, thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video, and Sacred Shards are really great for getting some of those legendary and epic champions, but you can also get some legendary and epic champions by starting Raid in the proper way. So for example, using my QR code that you can see on the screen or the code down below in the description to get an account that has Elenaril, Tagoar and Uugo right away. But those Sacred Shards, one-time sources of Sacred Shards for the early game. In the early game you can actually get up to 4 Sacred Shards from one-time sources. First of all, hard campaign in full stars, so each stage cleared with up to 2 champions, both alive at the end. Once you get your first 60, this is possible. As is brutal campaign with full stars. Again, each stage cleared with up to 2 champions, both alive at the end. Both of those achievements give you a Sacred Shard. Then there's also a Sacred Shard in the Arbiter missions. It's the second part completion reward after you fuse Justiciar. And Justiciar can be fused with materials from the campaign, so that is very much achievable. Finally, Dungeon Challenges. The final stage reward of Dungeon Challenges is also a Sacred Shard. And the final stage of Dungeon Challenges requires you to clear stage 13 on various dungeons, including Fire Knight but not Spider. So Fire Knight 13 is by far the most difficult part of those Dungeon Challenges, but if you're able to do that one, you can unlock that Sacred Shard as well. Early game players, there are not many repeatable sources of Sacred Shards. There is one in the monthly quests, so complete all monthly quests, including all the daily quests for 30 days. So once every 30 days, as long as you complete all of your daily quests, these are all quite easy to do, then you will get a Sacred Shard. And also referral accounts. If you use your referral link, get other people to sign up to the game with that, and they reach level 50, then you're going to get a Sacred Shard. And that's pretty much what you can do in the early game. Then you will need some account progress before you can get more. The mid game is where you really start to get some Sacred Shards. There are some one-time sources and the top repeatable sources in the game as well. So as for one-time sources, Nightmare Campaign. Again, full stars Nightmare Campaign is going to give you a Sacred Shard, but it's quite a bit more difficult than the brutal one. Then there's Ramantu missions and the Marius missions. So after you have completed the entire Arbiter chain, you unlock these, and the first part completion reward of both of those after 60 missions is a Sacred Shard. Account level 60 is also going to give you a Sacred Shard from account progress. Level 6 takes a bit of effort. And a daily login reward also gives you a Sacred Shard for day 78. So after playing Raid for 2.5 months, you just get one Sacred Shard for free. But then that mid-game repeatable source of Sacred Shards and your main goal really for a mid-game account, that's the Clan Boss. Clan Boss, Nightmare, the ultimate chest. The last chest in Nightmare difficulty, that has a chance to give you a Sacred Shard. Clan Boss, Ultra Nightmare. The Transcendent chest, again the last chest of Ultra Nightmare, also has a chance to give you a Sacred Shard. And the Ultra Nightmare boss has a higher chance of giving you Sacred Shards than the Nightmare boss. But once you can reliably farm Nightmare boss, then you're starting to slowly accumulate Sacred Shards. And once you can reliably farm the Ultra Nightmare boss, then that means that you're going to get as many Sacred Shards as you pretty much will get in this game. That is the best repeatable source of them. There are also some late game sources of Sacred Shards, but at this point, how much do you even value a single Sacred Shard because you're farming that Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss anyway? Well, there's account level 100. That I think the world record is something like 9 months to get to that, so that's gonna take a while. The daily login reward for day 268. Then Faction Wars normal mode. Once you reach 655, 705, 730, 756 and 819 stars. So that's a lot of Faction Wars. The Faction Wars hard also at 785, 875 stars. Curse City hard mode. 425 candles, only hard mode. Curse City normal does not give you Sacred Shards. And then Live Arena, the final milestone, 4800 rating. Yeah, if you can get there, you also get a Sacred Shard. Finally, there are some additional repeatable sources of Sacred Shards for late game players, but none of these really replace that Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. That's just going to stay with you all the way through. Doom Tower hard mode is actually pretty useful for late game players. Floor 120, the last one, is going to have a Sacred Shard, possibly there's also going to be another earlier. Then Classic Arena, Platinum tier chest, yeah, that not many people are going to get that. Tag Team Arena, Gold tier, Bazaar, yeah, that's also, yeah, that's also very hard to get to. And Live Arena, seasonal chest for the top 100 finishers. So those arena PvP parts, they are super hard to achieve, but Doom Tower hard mode is something that's eventually going to be playable for you. And then that clan boss, Ultra Nightmare, already Nightmare, farming that, super important. Those are going to be your main sources of Sacred Shards, and the others give you a little bit of Sacred Shards here and there. Oh, and one more thing, if all else fails, there is the shop. And the shop, Sacred Shards, they're sometimes in some decent bundles, like this special progress pack here, 2 Sacred Shards for $17.99. But for the most part, they are actually really difficult to come by from the shop as well, like monthly pack, $35.99. There's 1 Sacred Shard in it. There's some other stuff too, but yeah, the value just is so much lower than getting 2 for $17.99. So Sacred Shards, if you want to buy them, you want to be on the lookout for some good offers, because for the most part they are actually quite difficult to come by from the shop as well. And if you're here because you're desperate for a summon rush and you need some points, then another thing to keep in mind is that points also come from Primal Shards and from Void Shards, and both of those are also available various ways through the game, and also available in the shop and sometimes in offer bundles that give you more points than the Sacred Shards, if that is your last resort. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.